Like, this is what I've been dreaming of doing for years. And we've been really working towards for about the past year to get to this
almost
point.
A year, yeah. I just finished doing a blind test between these 3 sets of JTR speakers. You're not going to believe which one I chose as my favorite.
Just in this kind of like pre-test, pre-game, you can hear a lot of difference, and in some cases, not hear a lot of difference.
Yeah, because I kept telling you, I said, Rusty, this sounds way bigger.
It does
like, it's
sound
just
a lot bigger.
broader. The whole space is huge.
I went up there to go check and make sure something wasn't wrong.
Right. I kind of think it's going to be the 212RTs.
And you would be wrong.
Interesting. Okay.
So you picked.
Hey, what is going on, guys? Today, I am super pumped. We are in the Obsessed Home Theater lab. We just got finished setting up some speakers behind me. I want to share with you what we're doing. Today's the very first day that we've had an opportunity to do some side-by-side A/B comparison. I want to show you the software that we're using. I'm going to get Rusty on here, and he's going to explain kind of how he's got it set up. But first, let's just talk about the speakers that we've got. So in the lab, we've got several JTR speakers. Now, we want to do this with a bunch of different brands. We want to do this with Perlisten. We want to do this with ELAC, a lot of different brands, but this is what we have here. And so this is what we're testing. So over at the far left, we have the JTR Noesis 210HT. This is a 2-way speaker. So there's a 2-way crossover inside. Right next to that in the middle is the 212RT. So that's a 3-way driver, or 3-way configuration. The R stands for reference. That lets you know it's a 3-way configuration, 3-way crossover. T is tower. And then right next to that is a huge, massive 215RT. So that has dual 15s, this has dual 12s, and that has dual 10s. And then for the subwoofer, we've got a JTR Captivator 4000 ULF TL. TL stands for tall, and these are dual 18-inch drivers in a ported configuration, 4,000 watt continuous amplifier. So this is just a look at the room, kind of how we have it laid out. We've got our rack, the Red Atom rack back there. Loving the rack, really, really cool. Got all our equipment set up. So Rusty, walk us through how we're switching between each pair of speakers. You've kind of set up some a system here with the help of, I'm going to turn this up so you guys can see, with the help of Nick Oldroyd. He's created some software. So kind of walk us through what you've got here and how we're able to switch back and forth really quick.
Yeah, we're using a NAD M33 processor that's for playing Blue OS. We're just playing Spotify through that. You picked out a few songs from your list. Running that through Mini DSP Flex HTX so that we can reroute matrix the signals. Mm-hmm. And so we have just left, right, and then we have the sub on a channel by itself. Very simple, no calibration, no room correction, just straight out of the box, crossing over the sub at 80 hertz. Using HT Web Remote and a combination of HT Web Remote and Raspberry Pi, we're able to rapidly switch without any gap in playback from one pair to the other. And it's the same woofer, same subwoofer. We level set everything before we started. And look, it's not like perfect, like scientifically perfect, but it's as good as we can get. And it's pretty interesting what the results were. You did just a very, like, we're just sitting down doing a blind test.
Casual, yep.
You know, we haven't perfected everything yet, but got some first impressions, and they were pretty interesting to me.
And I haven't heard them yet, so I want to show you the setup. Then I'm going to lock the camera down on a tripod, and I'm curious to hear what I was picking out and why I was choosing it, because I don't know. I was telling Rusty, he would say, okay, here's X, here's Y, here's Z, and I had no idea which one he was switching between. I honestly could not tell the difference.
And I scrambled up the letters in between each session,
right,
so that you didn't even know, like, you didn't start to form a habit.
Yeah, and so that what we're trying to do is remove the bias. Mm-hmm. You know, if I think that X is a speaker that I might think I like, maybe a 3-way design versus a 2-way design, it could kind of alter what I perceive that I like.
So remind me, you own which speakers that you use at home that you're very comfortable and familiar with.
So I have the JTR Noesis 212HTR. Those are a three-way design.
Three-way
12
reference.
inch.
And then for subs you have?
I have dual RS2s, which are sealed, dual 18s in each cabinet.
Okay, so same driver. They're both two drivers, but you're using two RS2s. But we're not trying to get like seat to seat bass. We just want the sweet spot.
Yeah, I just want to be able to hear some bass, feel some bass.
So do you think that you would be more likely to pick what you're most familiar with?
I don't know. See, that's the crazy thing. I don't know, because I've never done this. I've never sat down and done blind AP comparison. I know that my ears tend to like a brighter sound. That's probably why I've always liked clips. You either love clips or you hate them. Clips tend to be bright. I fell in love with JTR because they have that detail, that clarity. Sometimes the bright, not really brightness, but they have that crispness that I really, really like, but it's not bright in my opinion. But there were, when we were listening back and forth, there were distinctly, I have no idea which pair, so I'm curious. There was one pair I kept telling you, I said, man, that's brighter, it sounds bigger, and I like that.
I say if it ain't bright, it ain't right.
So that I just like the detail. When it's a speaker is too laid back, I feel like I'm missing something. And that's just my personal preference. So let's walk through software just real quickly, just kind of show an example. You know, we're playing, and I'm hoping, there we go.
Yeah, this is a super simple setup I did. And I'm just ABC clicking, and I know what these are routed to, and I can mute and do a quick volume adjustment. On the setup side, that's a little different. This is messy, but just so I can set up all the different channels quickly.
So there's 8 channels, so you've got level adjustment.
Yeah, so real quick, what I'm doing here is just so I can mute everything but. Take a measurement, and then I can bump the gain down wherever I need it to, and do that on each of the channels. So it's easy to level match them. And I'm only doing it to the nearest dB because my meter bounces around plus or minus a dB. Not the cleanest setup, but it actually is very functional and utilitarian.
Yeah. And again, this was a program that Nick Oldroyd had created.
Yeah, he created the app, which you can host on either a Windows PC or a Raspberry Pi. But then as far as actually creating the remotes, that's up to the user. Very, very DIY in that regard.
Yeah. So we're super grateful for him. So I want to get this tripod, or get my camera on a tripod. I'd love to go through, we'll talk about the songs that we listen to. And again, not a scientific experiment, but this is our first go at it. So I'm just really curious to see what I thought.
Well, we're always itching to, like I said, look, it's 7:30. I want to play some speakers before we go home.
Yeah. And we've been here all day. Yeah. So, all right, cool.
So what was the first song you played?
And so I wrote down ZXY, have no idea what that means, what speaker, but Z was my preference. Then I preferred X, then I preferred Y. What do you,
can you guess which was which?
Not really.
Which one do you think is Z?
So one thing that I noticed in all of them, the one that I picked, I think, it sounded bigger, it sounded brighter, but it sounded also more detailed. Looking at all three of these, I would guess that it probably isn't the 210RMs, because that's a two-way.
HT.
I keep thinking it's RM. It's a HT.
We don't have any RMs on hand, otherwise we would have used them.
But that's a two-way, so I wouldn't think that it would be that. So I kind of think it's going to be the 212RTs.
And you would be wrong.
Interesting. Okay.
So you picked the 215RT as your favorite.
Wow. All right. So that was the big bad boy. All right. Interesting.
So your second favorite, you said, was X.
Okay.
In this, we scrambled them.
Right.
Not every time.
Yep.
So your second favorite, what do you think your second favorite was? You have any guesses now?
I would think that it would be the 212RTs.
No.
Dang. Interesting.
It was.
Wow.
It was the 210HT.
Interesting.
And then your third place.
And that's a much more affordable option.
So, and then your third place was the 212RT.
212RTs.
And you
said
the great
thing is
kind of muffled, or
I said it sounds laid back.
Yeah.
And it sounds hollow, is what I remember saying. Compared
hollow
to the other two, I said it sounds hollow.
Which is basically what you have at home right now.
Yeah. So
Like to the point where I was even like, I went up there to go check and make sure something wasn't wrong.
Right.
And I don't think I think it's good.
So here's one thing you have to understand. Anytime you're doing a side-by-side comparison, let's say you've got two projectors and you're looking at this one and this one, you're going to find something that you like better or notice different. But if you take away that one, it's like, oh, this thing looks beautiful. It looks great. And so these are all three phenomenal speakers. I've heard the 210HTs by themselves and was very surprised. I didn't think I was going to like them because it was a two-way speaker. And
because it's the most affordable speaker that JTR makes aside from the 110.
Yeah. We set those up in the other room and I'm like, Rusty, these actually sound really good. Even the center channel sounded really good. I've heard the 212RTs at your house. I've heard them here, and they're phenomenal.
Before, you're like, I just love three-way speakers.
Yeah.
So your second favorite was a two-way speaker.
That's good to know.
Yeah, it's able,
especially for consumers. Yeah.
And look, I know I'm curious tomorrow when we mix them up and put the 210s on the inside and the 215s on the outside. So that could change the results, but I'm curious to see if it changes your preferences.
So Rusty brings up a good point. One thing I told him, I said, one of the challenges in doing something like this, and again, we're not trying to be scientific, but we do want to remove as many variables as we can. Ideally, you would want to have the speakers in the same exact location when you're comparing them. The problem is our audible memory is junk, truthfully. So if we were to put the, say, speaker A in one position, listen to them on a song, hit pause, move them out of the way, get the other ones in place, tow them in just right, get the imaging right. All right, you're 4, 5, 6, 7, let's say 10 minutes into it. I promise you cannot accurately describe. It was hard enough for me going A, B, A, B.
You commented multiple times.
And I was struggling.
Because we were doing rapid switching in back and forth between, just between two.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, I already lost track of which one was my favorite.
Correct.
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's harder when you are blind.
Right. So when people say, oh, I heard this speaker 10 months ago and I'm hearing this subtle difference, I promise you, we can't remember that.
I think you can remember your experience.
Sure.
Like in how you felt and
Sure.
if it made an impression or a lasting impression.
Yeah.
But doing super detailed, it's tough.
It is.
So what about second track?
Okay, so the second track, let's see what I did. So I figured let's get something kind of just jamming. So I put Inner Sandman. So from Metallica. And we didn't have it super cranked, really, really loud. I wrote down ZYX. So in that one, I think we kept the letters the same, but I actually preferred Y over X this time. So still had the same initial, the Z.
So you preferred the 215?
That would have been the 215s. They did sound bigger.
They sound amazing.
They sounded bigger. They sounded more full. They sounded clearer, more detail. But in my brain, I think I was probably thinking they were going to be the 212s.
So you picked in order of price this time.
Okay.
Right? So most expensive to least.
Okay. On Inner Sandman. So that was just big and bold and just...
Which sounds really good on all the speakers, but the 215s especially.
Yeah.
That was a good track.
Okay.
So
then 3, you were like, hey, let's play something like, just kind of something you're really familiar with and some female. So I picked Adele, Easy on Me.
Okay, and I mixed up the letters. Okay, now this is very different, Adele.
Yeah.
A lot of high
and I don't listen to her a lot, but I like female vocals and I like piano.
About the exact opposite of Metallica.
Right, correct. Yep.
And you picked the 215RTs as your favorite.
Interesting. Okay, yeah.
And you were pretty much at a toss-up on the 212s and the 210s. You're like,
not a lot of
sometimes, you were having a hard time picking, which is why you told me to tell you what your favorite was. Sometimes you would say you preferred the 10, sometimes you preferred the 12, but you always preferred the 215.
Okay.
Easy.
All right, interesting.
All right, so session 4,
I was like, let's do some pop. So I did Where's the Love from Black Eyed Peas.
Which is a fun song.
Yeah, just, let's crank it up a little bit.
And I really changed up the lettering this time.
Okay.
So
yeah,
what
I think
was
you're like R, S, and Q or something like that. Yeah.
So what was your favorite?
So again, at that point I was like, my brain is frying Did you write those down?
Well, I know what your favorite was.
Okay. And I should have
I thought you had that.
Yeah.
The favorite there was, again, the 215.
Okay. So they're very consistent in what I liked.
Mm-hmm.
Crap, that means I'm going to have to upgrade.
Hey, maybe we found the upgrade for you. Maybe you get a new in-game insight.
Dadgummit. Okay. Well, there's always something bigger, better. But bigger in size doesn't always mean better. But
yeah, and I didn't write down I thought you were writing that down.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I goofed that one up.
And I can't remember. I think I remember the last one because it's fresher in my memory.
Right. Yeah. So the last one was session 5.
Session 5.
So that was Keith Don't Go. So that one has a very strong guitar. It's just huge. It's big, but it's just very detailed and nuanced. And then he's got just a really deep male vocal.
Yeah. And you again picked 215 as your favorite. Okay. But you did prefer the 210s again.
Interesting. Wow.
So
and that's vocals. Interesting.
And there's a lot of guitar.
Yeah.
That was right. That was the.
Yes.
So you picked the 210.
Okay.
Over the 212.
Interesting. Yeah.
That one you're more decisive on.
Okay. So I was like, I really like this one over out of the two.
The only thing you consistently picked was the 215RT.
Okay.
As your favorite.
Every single time.
I think it was every single time.
And all 5. Okay.
The only one I'm not certain, I think session 4 you may have had a different favorite.
Okay.
But I mean, I'm curious.
At least 4 out of 5 times I chose that one.
Yeah, okay. I think it was every time 215RT, which I was surprised.
Yeah, I thought I would like the 212s. Honestly, in my brain, I'm just thinking, the bigger the driver. I guess I just figured, vocals might not be as good, even though you've got you got your tweeter, massive.
Well, yeah, I guess
mid-range driver, coaxial. But it's a much bigger horn too, so that may be because I kept telling you, I said, Rusty, this sounds way bigger.
It does.
Like it's just broader. The whole space is huge. Well, you're going from a small horn on the outside, medium horn on the middle, and almost double the size horn on the inside.
And the speaker is bigger.
It's massive.
It is massive.
It's 6 feet tall.
I am surprised how much you like the 210. I think those are $2,000 a piece, right?
Yeah. That's cool.
And
again, that's good for you guys. I mean, sometimes we look at a set of speakers and we're like, man, I can't afford that, and that's the best, but the bottom ones must be junk. So that's kind of cool to know that I actually preferred those.
I'm curious when you blind test me what my results are.
We'll do better too. And again, this is just, we want to bring you along our journey. Like we're building this room so we can do this, because you guys keep asking me, Michael, I'm looking at this model or this model. I'm looking at the Per Listen R series and the S series. The S series looks great, but they're daggum expensive. And how much difference is there from the R to the S? We would love to be able to answer those questions.
Well, I don't know, because I've never listened to them
side by side. That's the thing. We would love to be able to bring them in here and do that.
I'm building my theater, and I've already ordered my speakers, and I'm just hoping to affirm the decision I've already made.
Right. And that's how most of us buy. We buy based on what we see online or hear online. And again, this is just another opinion. But hopefully this is, again, we're wanting to take as much bias out of it, you know. But we're going to do a bunch of this stuff, honestly. So that's really the whole goal here. I want to see, like you said, I want to reverse those. So first, I want to get your impressions like this. I'd love to switch them around, move the 215s to the outside, does that change anything?
Does it change the results?
Yeah. Because we are changing the sound stage basically by broadening or bringing them closer.
Isn't that kind of interesting too, is that the 215 has the narrowest sound stage right now?
That's true, but it was the biggest.
But it sounds the biggest.
Yeah, and that could be acoustics, the way it's interacting with the room.
Yeah, and there's a ton of things we want to do to make this room even better.
Yeah, we're still not finished. I mean, we'd love to add some more acoustic treatment.
But there's still, even though it could be better, it's at least even.
Correct.
It's the same for all the speakers, so whatever negative effects More or
All
less
of the
the same.
tweeters are about the same. I mean, there's some variants there. There's no way to get those identical. You know, you're not going to raise up the 212.
But it's just in this kind of like pre-test,
pretty wild.
pre-game.
Yeah.
You can hear a lot of difference, and
Yeah.
in some cases, not hear a lot of difference.
Yeah, and I think sometimes, Rusty, that depended.
Depends.
It was dependent on the type of music that I was listening to.
Yeah, that changed it a lot.
Certain things, I just specifically remember. I'm like, all right, switch between those two because I know I like this sound.
Well,
But man, these two, they're very, very similar.
I mean, it changed it a lot, but you were consistently preferring the 215.
Right.
And
yeah, like I said, that was a no-brainer for me. When it came on, I'm like, I like that. I like the way that sounds. The vocals are nice, big, broad sound. And then, but sometimes we would switch between the other two, and I'm like, man, that's really close. Like I don't really have a favorite there. But then there were other types of music. I'm like, oh yeah, I like that one better. That one's okay, but interesting.
All right, so tomorrow, we go get some dinner.
Yeah, we'll have some fun.
Tomorrow morning, you blind test me,
That would be cool.
and then we can rearrange
Yeah,
and see if that
you
changes
pick your
the
own
results.
songs and stuff maybe you're familiar with, and
I'm really interested to compare like monitors versus towers.
Mm-hmm.
I think that'll be a fun.
sure. Yeah, you know, should you invest in, because typically the towers are going to be a little bit more expensive than the monitors.
And if I can convince Matt to let me borrow his 210 RTs.
Oh,
No, yeah,
he has
210
RM monitors.
and an RM center.
No, I'm sorry. He was thinking about the monitor. That's what. That's
He's
right.
got the RM
For
as
the
a
center channel. Yeah.
But the RTs for the left and right.
Yeah.
So if we could steal those for a day
Yeah,
and
210s
put
to
those in the place,
212s,
that way
yeah.
we're comparing
Yeah,
tower to tower to tower.
Yep.
And they're all the reference series.
That makes sense. Yeah.
But we had to start somewhere.
But there's so much fun that we can have with this. And again, guys, we just want to bring you along for the journey. Let me know down in the comments, like, what would you like to hear? Again, we don't have access to everybody's speakers. So if you say, man, Michael, I want you to get in, we had to buy these guys. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're building up inventory. We're going to do the same thing with Perlissim. We're going to do the same thing with the budget friendly. A lot of you guys have been asking me, you know, are you going to offer something for the common man, you know, the affordable? 100%. We totally want to do that. So I've reached out to ELAC. We're going to build a system in Joe's theater, but I want to bring those over here. I want to listen to them. You know,
And I have some speakers that I've been hoarding because I'm a speaker hoarder. But partially because this is like, I text my wife and I was like, showed her a picture of the setup and said, like, this is what I've been dreaming of doing for years. And we've been really working towards for about the past year to get to this
almost
point.
a year, yeah.
But just like getting all this stuff in one place and all set up. And some of those speakers I'm hoarding are in the storage unit next door. And I want to get those out and put those up against like speakers I know pretty well.
Sure.
Put those, you know, side by side. And I don't know if that's, I'm just curious to see what my blind impressions are.
Sure.
With speakers I know.
Might find that what you thought you liked, you didn't like as much.
It can be a little humbling.
Yeah. But I'm okay to just share, this is it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, this isn't contrived. I had no idea what I had picked out. And we're just going to continue to do that. I want to do it with subwoofers. You know, I want to get
we got a lot of subwoofers to test.
Yeah. You know, I've asked Perlissim, I said, hey, look, can we get one of every one of your subwoofers? I want to see. I want to see the R series. I want to see the S series. I want to put a 212S up again. You know, I mean, it's like, I want to, because even just looking at their website, it's like, okay, is the R18, like, where does that fit in between these other ones, you know? So, again, I just want to have some fun.
It's fun. But I think we need to go get some dinner before I get hangry.
All right, guys. Like I said, let me know down in the comments. What are your thoughts about this? Again, I want to bring you along our journey. We want to find amazing products. We think that we can provide value by doing things that you don't have the opportunity to do. We want to compare projectors. We want to test speakers and cables, and that'll be fun. We need to do some blind speaker cable test.
Yeah, that's an easy one.
We'll get a coat hanger. We'll get, you know, and get some really, really high end. But anyway, so that's what this is all about. But that's where we're going. And of course, you know, we're dealers for brands that we love. You know, we're a dealer for JTR. We're a dealer for Perlison. We want to find that budget friendly. We just became a dealer for Red Atom. Really loving this rack, Rusty. Super affordable in the lineup of what's out there, but I love the quality on it. It's been a really good rack for us. We're dealers for Sewell, you know, some banana plugs. You're like, can you get some stuff that's affordable? They ain't much more affordable than $35 for, you know, a set of 14 pair. But we're going to just continue to chase great products, find stuff that we love and are passionate about, that we're willing to get behind and endorse, and ultimately buy, stock, ship, and support. So if you got any questions, reach out to me, youthman@obsessedhometheater.com. Check out the website, Obsessed Home Theater, and we're going to have some more fun tomorrow. Hope you guys have an incredible week. God bless.